Before we get started, a quick word from our sponsor, Community Financial's President CEO Tansley Stern's new podcast, Despite Impossible. Now on to the show. Hey everybody, Mike Lawson here with CU Broadcast. Welcome to our show. And on today's program, we have two fine gentlemen in the credit union industry doing some amazing stuff that we're going to talk about today. But before we dive into that topic, let's do some introductions, shall we? Right below us is Mr. Dwayne Herrera from Zia Credit Union. Dwayne, how are you, sir?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. Glad you're here. And then right next to me is none other than Mr. Bo McDonald from your marketing company. Bo, good to see you again, sir.
Long time no see. It's good to be back.
I know, it's just like yesterday, actually. So it's always good to have you here because you're always in the mix of doing some really cool stuff, Bo. And then what you guys are working with and doing and helping out Zia with is nothing less than that. So we're excited about today's conversation. So today's conversation kind of revolves around Zia Credit Union achieving a 15.7% loan growth in 2022. Are you kidding me? A record year for you guys. Dwayne, so what was going on at your credit union to achieve such great success? Because there's more numbers than just the loan growth as well. So you want to share with us what was going on there? And then Bo, you can dive in and share how you guys were working together to achieve the success.
Well, I'll tell you, it was a lot of determination. That's what was going on. No, we really had to grow our loans. So it was by design that we set out to do miraculous things with our loan production. And, we needed to grow loans, and we needed to just grow our credit union, period. But, when you grow your loans, you really grow your membership in your checking account. If you're good at building relationships, that is.
Right.
So it started from there, and we started with kind of retraining our staff and creating expectations and pushing out some lofty goals that we thought we would never hit. And in the end, we blew them all the way.
Right on.
And we just started doing things a little bit differently, and that caught on. And we hit our goals. And even today, our staff is just working hard at building relationships. And we've already blown our whole goal for 2023.
Oh gosh. Yeah, it sounds like you guys are on your way to another record year in 2023 for sure. And we're talking before the recording that Zia is kind of a smaller credit union. It's $204 million in assets. And I always really enjoy these stories when credit unions of your size, Dwayne, really go out there and just slang wise crush it. They just do such an incredible job. And then to have somebody like Bo come in and help you guys out really adds to the message there. So Bo, share with me how you guys work together, how the two organizations work together to achieve these wonderful numbers.
Sure, but I cannot take the credit for it. I always have to put it back on my team because
it's a team effort. I get it.
Adam, who he works with, and the designers and the socials, it takes a whole village. So I'm kind of like the Queen of England. I'm here, I'm waving the figurehead, but the rest of the team is doing the hard work. But I put it back on Dwayne too. We've talked several times about small credit unions doing amazing things, and a lot of times people will come up and say, "How are they doing that?" I say, you just have to think differently. You have to be willing to do something different, and it doesn't sound that hard, but so many times you'll hear people, "Oh, that's not for me." And I remember we were working with Zia before Dwayne got there. Dwayne got there as the new CEO, and I got this feeling that we'd have some fun with him. And I remember one of our first meetings, he had been talking about how he always wanted to be a superhero. So to think and drink, we kind of got you there a little bit.
I'm just waiting for my superpowers to kick in
in real life. So it was that conversation with Dwayne where we went back with the team and had a think and drink. Let's make Dwayne a superhero. So we did this claymation video and presented this idea to Dwayne, and he was like, "I love it. That's cool." You can't do that with everyone. Dwayne thinks outside the box. He thinks very differently. And when you're leading a credit union, to get those numbers, to get different numbers, to get better, you have to be willing to do things differently. And that's just a fun, creative way that we've been able to do that. But, it all goes back to, even a call last week that my team was having with Dwayne, Adam, and they were presenting a really out there idea where, going into the meeting, you're like, this is different. There's a lot of moving parts to this. And Dwayne didn't bat an eye. And that's how you get those numbers, when you're willing to be different then those you compete with. I got to put it back on leadership to have an open mind and want to be different.
Can you share with me some of these different ideas that you presented, Dwayne? And Dwayne, I want to get your response too at some of these ideas that turned out to be successes. Bo, can you share maybe one or two ideas that you guys presented?
I know there's been a lot. I would throw that back on Dwayne and say, what is the one that Adam has shared with you that's really really helped push the numbers in the direction that they did last year?
Well, one of the things is we had to figure out what our big differentiator was, and so we compete with the big billion-dollar credit unions, and I look out my window, there's a big billion-dollar credit union right out that window. I look out the other window, there's a multi-billion-dollar bank there. And so we were behind on the technology race, and we don't have the same resources as they have. So we wanted to be different, and we quickly realized we knew from even talking to our own employees that when you call the big credit union or you call the big bank, you can't get in. It's difficult to get good service, and we're small enough, and this is where we're taking a disadvantage and making it an advantage, is we're small enough where we still know our members. They can walk in here, they will call us, and we will answer the phone. We were very cautious to make sure our call center was always staffed up, so they get a live body that's right here. Right here in New Mexico, and just providing that prompt service and teaching our loan officers, we streamlined what we could so that we would make their job easy so that they can produce a lot of loans. So I think ultimately, it came down to service, but we backed that up with a lot of cool promotions and incentives for members and incentives for employees to do the right thing. But we know today, when we can't, if we can't compete with technology or human resources, we know we can compete with service, and that is what differentiates us, and that is what's making us popular.
No doubt, no doubt. And tell me about, you mentioned training earlier, and training the employees, and I guess in the lending area. Can you share with us maybe an anecdote or two about the training aspect of it and how valuable that was in this success?
Yeah, a lot of training and a lot of cross training. Historically, we've had loan officers like most credit unions do, but we also have front office people. We call them financial service reps. Other people call them member service reps, but these are, just the people that open accounts and handle wires and disputes and everything else within the credit union. So we wanted to make sure that front line was trained to do everything in order, in addition to process and close loans. Mm-hmm. So, that doubled the number of people that we had that were out there working on loans and closing loans. Okay. And that's really one of the things that we did. We just increased the knowledge level, and vice versa. Our loan officers, we also placed a responsibility on them. Your job is not just to bring in that one relationship, but convert everything into 3 relationships. And just because you're a lender, it doesn't mean that you should be looking to make sure they have that checking account and that direct deposit with us. So really, we got everybody to the same level where everybody was looking at relationships. How can we best help our members? Because we do know our products are good and our pricing is good, and overall we're a really good deal for our member, because if we weren't, we would fix that. Yeah. So this is a good place to bank, and we just need to share that with our member. Overall, we're a good package deal.
Yeah, I love how you have taken your size and made it an advantage, whereas a lot of the people might wilt under the view that you have outside your window there with a couple of multi-billion-dollar financial institutions. But you have taken the rein, or taken the bull by the horns, to quote a famous movie in the 1980s. So we all remember The Breakfast Club, don't we? But anyway, I just dated myself. But anyway, yeah, you guys have really taken advantage of your size and the nimbleness, right? Because you guys are able to move on a dime with some of these marketing messages and implementing technology. Is that another factor as well?
Absolutely. I came from a larger credit union with, 7 branches, and here we only have 3. And it was a little more difficult to motivate change when you have that many people and that many branches. But, here, because we're a little smaller, we can get that done a lot easier and quicker. And it's easier to follow up to make sure everybody's made the transition.
See, everybody else is an oil tanker, and you are like the speedboat, just running around doing all sorts of really cool stuff. I like that.
We are, and we did take advantage because one of the things, this credit union historically had not grown a lot, and I think the prior management, they had a philosophy that we don't need to grow as a credit union, and we just need to take really good care of the members that we have, and they did a fabulous job. So our membership was really loyal to our credit union. And so what was missing is, building more relationships. So when we went to our existing members and basically said, we can help you with more, we can bundle the services and you get a better deal. Yeah. And that made sense to them. We were easily able to get more business from our existing members. And then that spread to non-members, their friends, their relatives, their family members. They say, yeah, credit union is a pretty good deal. You should talk to them. And, today we know that, most of the new business that we get, it's through our promotions and it's through referrals.
Yeah. Nothing better than word of mouth, that's for sure. And
we love the word of mouth.
Oh yeah, no doubt. That's the best kind of advertising, and Bo knows that very, very well. And having said that, I mean, what makes Zia unique in the success picture, especially again as a smaller credit union here? Because I think you alluded to it a little bit earlier. Because Dwayne is not afraid to think outside that proverbial box. So are there other uniquenesses, if that's a word, about Zia?
I would go back to service. And I slap the hands of a lot of credit union leaders when they say, "Oh, we have good rates and good service," and they kind of stumble to back it up. Well, our tellers smile, or we know our members by name, and that goes so far. But what Dwayne was talking about, the cross-selling, when you think of successful marketing, I look at it like a football game. If we're the quarterback in marketing, we've got the ball, and we throw it down the field, but you can't catch it. Your staff isn't trained. They don't know how to ask for the business. They're not responding fast enough. You can have the best quarterback in the world. You're not going to win a game.
Right.
And likewise, you got a crappy quarterback, bad marketing that, can't throw you the opportunities to take advantage of. You're never going to win either. And I always go back to, service is not just smiling and being nice. It's anticipating the needs of that member, that training that Dwayne has been doing. We can toss the ball to someone at Zia, and not only are they catching it, they're running it 3 football fields down because they're going above and beyond and saying, how else can we help you? We're doing this and anticipating those needs. And there's not a lot of credit unions doing that. And it's not the easiest thing to do. What Dwayne has undertaken there and the training he's implemented successfully, it takes a lot of time and effort.
Well, it sounds like it's a mindset too. Not only do you have the training for the practical stuff, but it sounds like a philosophy or a mindset. Like you said, Bo, when you throw that ball and then the Zia employee catches it, they're not just running to the end zone. They're running outside and going to the next football field and going down that. So is that kind of the philosophy that you have implemented there, Dwayne? Kind of maybe from the top down, so to speak.
Whatever it takes. We implemented a sunset rule that says that no employee may go home without returning every single one of your phone calls, and that doesn't. It doesn't matter whether it's a member or whether it's a coworker, an employee. You need to return all your phone calls.
Good for you.
Because our members want that communication, even if you're working on a loan and maybe you got a little busy. We do consider an email a communication. So even if it's close to 5 and they've got to go home and pick up kids, you shoot that little email out and says, "Didn't forget about you. I'm still working on your deal. Got a little busy, but I'll reach out to you tomorrow by 10." Realistic time frame, and that worked out really well with our members. Just having that email communication. But we did. COVID helped us a little bit too. I'll have to, there's some positive things that came out of that because, we did have to close our branches for a while. But one of the things that we did is we changed our call center hours from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And something else we did credit union wide is about 53% of our employees now work from home. So our entire call center works from home.
Oh, wow.
So, if they get, some of them get to start their day at 7 a.m. And if they want to be in their pajamas, they can, because, members don't really see them. They only hear them. And so when we changed our hours from 8 to 5 to 7 to 7, none of them blinked because they were able to work from home. And It's not like you get off of work at 7 and you have to drive home in the dark. You don't. You're already home. So our call center has loved that, and those guys were part of our training as well. So they can help with just about anything, including a loan. the only thing they can't do is the process of a mortgage loan, but they sure have enough information to have some general conversations and get them to our website where they can apply for a mortgage loan.
Yeah, then get that ball rolling for sure. And one of my favorite recent interviews I did with Taylor Nelms at Filene, and they did a study on smaller credit unions really, achieving some great success and kind of flipping that notion on its head that, small credit unions, they're really struggling and, oh my gosh, they're going to, the backbone of our industry, they're going to go away and, all heck is going to break loose. But it's not there. Yes, there are those out there that are struggling for sure, but there's a big number like Zia, that they've proven that are really doing a great job out there. And it just reminded me of that interview. It's like, gosh, what a refreshing message that is, that, the smaller credit unions can really go out there and do an incredible job. Even like you said, even in the shadow of those big multi-billion-dollar financial institutions, you can still get it done and then some as well. So yeah, this is really, really good stuff. Bo, anything, what's next on the horizon for you guys working with Zia here? Because I think you guys have a few other items in the works here.
We do. I can't talk about it. We just had a meeting last
top secret. All right.
Dwayne would, I can say something that's a little bit more global.
Okay.
Something that, last year, Bo did our strategic planning for our credit union, and he got us moving in a direction. We ended up forming a innovations committee, really per his recommendations. So, we have employees from all levels of the credit union that are part of that committee. And
nice.
So that group has been working on, again, their focus has been, what can we do with this credit union that will improve member service? What can we do that's going to improve efficiencies, and that, how do we take advantage of technologies? And how can we differentiate ourselves? And so we've been working on that, and we have a few things in the pipeline there, and hopefully later this year, we'll be able to launch a new loan service that will be very unique and different. And I'm just going to tell you, we'll have to set our loan growth much higher, and we may be selling loan participations in the future if that takes off like it's intended to. And my biggest worry is my liquidity.
That was the big story at GAC, was liquidity. Yeah, I hear you. That was the big buzz at GAC, was liquidity. So yeah, but so oh my gosh, I love doing stories like this, and just seeing how financial institutions, credit unions like yours, Dwayne, are just really doing an incredible job out there, and continue to do so, because it sounds like 2023 is going to be another banner year for you guys. So well done. And that said, I know you guys have a lot of stuff on your plates, but any final thoughts here, Bo? Any final thoughts on this one?
No silver bullets. Everything Dwayne has described is not a switch that can be flipped. It is hard work, and I think that's why a lot of credit unions are struggling. But if you put in the time and effort and think differently, you can do it.
The only thing I would add to that is that there definitely are some disadvantages to being a smaller credit union. Don't worry about those. Focus on what your niche is. Like, there's a lot of credit unions that are very niche-y, and they find their way in the marketplace, and that's how you're going to survive, and that's how you're going to grow. Do it your way.
Exactly. Well said. Well, on that message, I'm going to let you guys get back to work. Thank you again so much for your time and your insights and your expertise, and the results as well. They speak for themselves. So yeah, I look forward to having you guys back on maybe later in the year when some of those top secret initiatives are launched, and get some results as well. So we'll get the cat out of the bag, so to speak. So guys, thanks again.
Talk about them by then.
Okay, good. All right, guys, I'll let you get back to work. Thanks again. That was a lot of fun.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
A quick word from our sponsor, Community Financial's present CEO, Tansley Stearns' new podcast, Despite Impossible.